brings us on to the next question, which is something that has come up recently. It's something people have been discussing a lot nowadays. This is obviously thanks to Tectone pointing this out. Whatever your thoughts on it, it's about toxic positivity. What's your thought on it? What's your definition, if you want to kind of talk about that discussion? Why it's such a big deal? We'll start with V, because I see him getting excited in the corner.
No. Let me hear you guys' thoughts first. I'll go last.
You go last?
No, I'll go first.
Yeah.
I'll go first because I'm a nerd. I'll go first. I'm stupid. So when it comes to toxic positivity, I'm assuming you're talking about the people in this community who like to be overly positive, and then they like to push everybody to be overly positive, but not talk about the actual negative aspects about the game. That's what you're talking about, right?
The thing is, things can be interpreted in different ways. I want to know what it means to you, because two people can take it this different ways, and it's good to be on the same page. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm saying. Okay,
well, I'm going to assume that's what we're talking about. So, When it comes to toxic positivity, right? It's like, I hate people who push that, right? Like, it's one thing to be happy, like, actually happy about the state of the game. It's one thing to be actually happy and satisfied. It's another thing where you're clearly not, or you're overhyping the game beyond what it actually is in the moment, and you just it's so cringe. Like, you could see right through it. You really can. Okay, but it's like, what really makes it worse is when these people actually try their hardest to like force everybody to not try to be negative about the game, and then when they are negative about the game, they're seen as like an evil villain. You know, just a super villain, like Xing Shou, basically. You know, like they see them as like Xing Shou. You know, and it's like, I don't know, like that is horrendous. Okay, I feel like when the game is bad, you gotta be negative about the game, so that way changes can be made. You know, you can't be out here being positive, being sunshine and rainbows all the time.
What you're talking about is just having a critical thinking mindset.
How dare you not
have a critical thinking mindset?
No, if that makes sense. I am going to cut in about that quickly, because I just have some thoughts I want to say about that, because it's quite a big issue that people don't really take seriously. And the reason I say it's because people, they kind of think if you talk bad about the game, it means you hate it. Why are you playing it? You're being ungrateful or whatever, you know, the usual arguments. But I think it's kind of a disservice if you don't hold the game to some form of standard, because if you care about something, that's when you want it to be better. If I did not care about Genshin in the slightest, I don't care about the longevity of the game, I wouldn't care. So it's like, when I coach people, for example, I'm coaching them because I believe they can be better. I believe they can be pushed further. So it's good having, you know, getting used to having constructive criticism. So that's basically my mindset. It's not a bad thing. If anything, it's a good thing, because you want the game to be better for your fans. So it's like, I want the people who are watching me taking the time, I want to push the game instead of putting a blindfold on just to make people happy, keep them watching. That's what's a bit frustrating.
Exactly. And then when people say just don't play the game, it's like, dude, like, we all remember the first time we started playing this game. It was a way different feeling. We all enjoyed it. That's why we're all here today, because we all enjoyed this game at some point. That's where we wanted to stick with it. The more that we go along with the game, the more we realize that, man, this is kind of garbage, bro. This is kind of lukewarm, man. You know, like, Yelan is not in every single story imaginable. This is kind of trash. So it's like, it's not just don't stop playing the game because you find that there's flaws about it, there's negative flaws about it. Oh, well, if there's flaws you find about it, then stop playing it. No, I love this game. I want to return to the feeling that I once had when I first started playing this game. At least something close to that feeling. Just make it feel as though it's like, man, this game actually feels good. It feels great. You know, this game is making me feel happy legitimately. That's all we're asking. You know, like, we don't want to just leave everything that we've built up because, oh, we don't like something about the game. Like, no, like, nobody wants to do that. That's ridiculous.
Saluna, Soldipup, you guys?
Alright, yeah. I'm gonna be boomer pop here for a second. And I think we're, like, probably too focused on the positivity aspect of the toxicity. I think it's kids these days, or just people in general these days, they want everyone to have the same opinion as them, and if they don't, they feel like they're being attacked. I think that's the biggest problem. It's not necessarily the positivity, it's just wanting everyone to agree with you.
Yes.
I feel like that's because these people nowadays, they're getting too sheltered, honestly, to the point where I feel like they legitimately feel uncomfortable with somebody has a different perspective or opinion than them. Because the truth about it is that, okay, I'll go get deep here, right? Whenever somebody disagrees with you or has a different opinion than you, okay, like let's say, for instance, right, I love Attack on Titan. I think it's one of the greatest animes of all time. It's in my top 3. I love Attack on Titan. Yeah, V is based. It is. Now somebody will come up to me, probably a One Piece watcher, and he'll be like, no, that's garbage. There's nothing good about that anime. It's horrible. I will naturally feel something within myself to be like, why? You know, like, why would you say that? You know, that'll naturally make me angry. And I think that for these people, that feeling is just exemplified to the furthest extent as to where they really take it to such a personal level that they feel the need to attack you over literally anything. You know, like if you even have the smallest different opinion compared to them, they attack you over it. Okay? It could be literally anything. That's how I feel like these people actually work in their heads.
Yeah. So as far as toxic positivity goes, I think, to be clear, like if we're being real, a lot of the overly positive sentiment probably just comes from people who largely get in the entirety of their living from just hoyoverse. I'm not going to say details, but I know for a fact that a lot of creators get paid a lot of money functionally directly from hoyoverse, and that means their living is tied to some amount of their perspective on Genshin and or hoyoverse products in general and their well-being, or in their success, I should say. But ultimately, these are products, right? The product that is being created is a video game that is free, and if it's free, it's because there's some other way they're trying to make money. And obviously, in whoever's case, it's that their goal is to get you to gamble. Their goal is to convince you to like a character as much as a certain Elon lover here, such that you will spend $1,000 on them. That is their goal. And
3,000 actually. 3,000.
Dude.
Yeah, these are pricey.
And right, that's the structure. That's the monetization system, is to try to convince you that it is worthwhile to get those things. And eventually you realize it is not. The more you play it as a game, the more you see the things as just a game, right? And the illusion starts to fall apart. And you start to become frustrated with the things that minorly annoy you over and over and over for like years. So I think it's important to, have a critical mindset. And I've always tried to, like, my content perspective that I try to take is showing how, like, my edited videos, I try to not have that many negative thoughts on them other than little snippets of like jokes about things or whatever. And I try to just like show how I'm having fun with the game. This is what I'm currently doing, that I'm having fun, and like this is why I have stopped making one of my series that I was running for a long time. It's because that series was intensely unfun to me when I was actually playing the game. I was actively hating it, and so I stopped. I'll make a video about it, why eventually, but like I try to make what I'm having fun about. Make videos about what I'm having fun about in Genshin, and then like I do in live streams where I ramble on about stuff, and I'll be quite critical and try to like show my thoughts more about things. And I think that's all you really have to do. You gotta take a healthy perspective of things. I think it's important to remember that there's other games that exist. Like when it comes to like the idea of boycotting Genshin, you can play another video game. You can play another non-hoyoverse game.
Yeah, seriously, you can play literally anything else. Like,
yeah,
especially me. Like when I finish exploring Shandyville and stuff like that, I will go on my hour day with Yolan and log off, and then I'll probably play like Power World or something, or like some Spider-Man or like some Minecraft or something. It's not like you have to. It's not like Genshin is the only game that people can play. Like, yeah, you could be upset at the state of the game, but it's like, hey man, like if it really is upsetting you that much, just stop playing it. Legitimately, stop playing it. Go play something else. That's not the only game you can play. You can play,
or
HSR
you can have a life.
What was that? A life? Nah,
you can have a life.
Nah, that's way too much. That's insane that you'd even recommend that, V, and I might have to report you for that, man, because I don't know that's a threat.
No, reported.
Oh,
man.
You can't be telling us to have a life. Like Genshin player to have a life, you're out of your mind, man. But
yeah,
I know, right?
You could just do something else. Some of these people, they like to speak these mythical words. They like to say things like, go to the gym and like get a GF or something. I don't know what that means, but whatever they're on about, maybe they're cooking. But I try to look into that. Like if you don't like this game that much.
I see. I would agree with a lot of points actually when it comes to that.
No, I think I want to cut in there for a moment because one thing people do say is that, just stop playing their game. I feel like, that's a good statement, but I feel like it's some people might hear that and take it the wrong way. Because the issue with Genshin and the way the game is designed, it kind of pulls you in. Like, you have to play every day and you have to clear all the content. You have to the event.
Earlier in my chat, people were talking about the FOMO. Like, the FOMO is crazy.
Yeah, but when you say don't play the game, it doesn't mean in a bad way. You gotta stop putting the game on a pedestal and expect more instead of saying don't say anything about the game. So I think when someone may hear, just stop playing the game, it kind of comes off across as a bit aggressive, and it's I don't think a lot of people want to hear that. No, go on, V.
Yeah, exactly, because it's like most people take it in a type of tone as to where it sounds like stop playing the game, but actually you're saying it in the tone like stop playing the game. People take it aggressively.
Sorry, I legit got comments in all caps screaming at me to quit the game whenever like I was trying to give like a fair assessment, things we need to improve the game. So, like, I wasn't even really complaining about the game. I was just like, I want this to be better. And, like, I got all caps screamed at to quit the game. So let's not pretend that isn't happening.
Yeah.
It is. I got kind of attacked just for asking for a skip button.
Yeah.
Because we need a skip. It's because we need one.
No, but how dare you?
I don't understand it.
But how dare you attack my masterpiece?
No. You see, like, the thing about this whole skip button controversy is because it's so stupid. Because it's just an option, right? Like, for the people who do not
people don't want to understand that. No, people don't understand that. They don't want you to have that even that option. Like, how dare you even ask?
No, because like they're saying they're like, dude, no, like you have to listen to the dialogue and pay attention to Paimon yapping in your ear for like 45 minutes straight. I'm saying they're like, okay, but like, what if I don't want to do all that? Or what if I'm a person who creates an alternate Genshin account and I want to do something to that account? Do I really want to replay all that story I already played again on that account? No, can I skip it? Please, give me an option to skip it. Literally, it's just an option that's there, but people take it personally. They take it as the way it's like, you don't like the story in the game, you hate it. I mean, not necessarily, but it's just like, maybe I just don't want to be going through all this dialogue all the time. It's bloated dialogue. I don't want to do it all the time, man. You know, like, just leave me alone. Just skip, please. You know, Wuthering Waves, I'm looking at you guys. You better add that damn skip button into your game.
They already have it.
They do it.
The game is pulling up with the skip button. Yeah.
W. That's why they're called Wuthering Waves. They got 2 W's in their name. W.
No. W.
Can I say something controversial here? I don't think the game needs a skip button. I think the game needs better writing.
Yeah, it does need better writing. No, deadass. It needs better.
The reason you want to skip things is because of its crap-ass writing.
I think...
Sorry, I should say crap. I shouldn't say crap. I should say it's inconsistent, and it's very too... Like, it's too patternized. Like, it's the same thing written in a slightly different way a lot of times.
It's very bloated. It's very repetitive. It's
exactly
repeated across all the time by Paimon.
Exactly. But like, I think that's their fault for actually wanting to expand the world as hard as they do, because they want to have this big-ass engaging world to be engaged in. See, the problem with that is you add so much, like, give me the option to skip that. I don't have to care. There's some players that actually like to play the game for the gameplay itself and not the story. Cater to those. Isn't Genshin trying to cater to every form of player? Hardcore is like, you guys have a biz, you know, my anxiety for the rest of their people.
Basically.
Right? And there's like, so many people taking pictures. Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, but like, the thing is too is that, like, there's, like, the lore around this game. I don't know who cooks this lore, but this lore is great. I tried reading some, and I'm like, I mean, it's pretty fire. Okay, I heard that there's a manga. I haven't read it, but I heard that it's pretty good. If they, like, literally, all they have to do is just make the dialogue better, make the story represented better. That's all you need to do, because it's there. You're just not representing it correctly. You got Paimon yapping for 50 minutes straight, dude. It's how you represent the story, bro, is what makes the story bad to people. But the story is actually good. Like for instance, I see a lot of people say that the way that Raiden was represented in-game as a character was horrible. But the way that she was represented in the lore is amazing. And that's why there's so many Raiden fans. Or Raiden fans, however you pronounce her name. It's because of her lore. Like, her lore is really good. And although I haven't read it, I believe those people. Because the lore is always better than the dialogue that's represented in the game for the lore. It's always better.
Yep. I'm going to cut in there because I do have a big point that honestly I think about a lot. Basically, it has a great story. Like you said, the lore is amazing, but it's presented horribly. Like, it's pretty bad. Like, the story behind the scene is insane. And some people in the chat are saying, oh, why don't you just go watch Ash's video? But the fact is, if the game is spending all this money telling a story, why should you have to learn the story from a condensed YouTube video? Clearly something's not going right here, you know?
Why should you have to learn it from a third-party source? Like just put it in the game.
It's so good. Condense it. It's like with the event, they had a really, really good cutscene. If they just condensed the information and presented it in a good way, instead of having to mash the button, that would be good. It'll make me want to actually listen to the story more. I generally don't listen to the story in the game. I go off in my own time and read it like a visual novel or something because it's not presented good. The story is amazing. Presentation is 1 out of 10. That's the simple answer. V, I don't think we got your answer on the toxic positivity.
I would disagree with that one.
You don't think so? Okay.
The presentation is okay because day one we all took that presentation and we're like, hey, cool, like it's whatever, it's good. But like we keep hearing a lot, which is like the repetition of it all, which means the loop, like the end game content. It's like that's where the issue lies. It's like they're overestimating just how hooked we are because let's face it, we are hooked. Whether you like it or not, that's the term to have to each and every single one of us talking about this right now is that we're hooked to this game, and us wanting it to change is proof of that. Is that okay? It's like give me a better high now. It's like I want a better high. You can even view it from that perspective.
Yes, put Yelan in more quests. Please. I've been asking, put Yelan in more quests. I'll play the game even more than I already have.
Right.
You know, like, just make it better.
Yeah, so like a more expanding world. I feel like Star Rail is kind of boring, quote unquote, when it comes to exploration compared to Genshin. Because Genshin, there's so much exploring to do. Star Rail is like you already know how many chests there is. Yeah, exactly.
That's the reason they've added more in-game combat in Star Rail is because there's nothing actually to do in Star Rail after you do the story.
I would go beyond that. It's because you cannot. It's because unless there's some collectibles like Pokemon, you can keep walking around for days in Pokemon. It's a 2D game, but you will be absorbed for hours because there's so much collectability to do. That's what we see in Withering Waves. They have shinies, they have so much stuff. There's so much collecting to do. You're not collecting mints and berries like a dum-dum. No, you're actually collecting collectibles, right? All we have is artifacts behind the resin system. That's very bad compared to Star Rail, right? So progression is not there yet. Yeah, people like to flex. Give them something to flex with, right? So to go back to the loop of it all, no, the story writing is not bad. I feel like they are kind of improving with their anime flashing things, like Paimon is here, Paimon is there, the cutaway. I feel like Farina kind of changed things, in my opinion. Like when she was talking with Nuvieta, she's like, she goes full anime girl, right? That was good. And considering
the new mainline story is really good.
Besides the story, it's like also like how the models act, it's better. You can feel like it's more fluid. The problem with Genshin cutscenes, in my opinion, is that, well, not the animated one. The animated ones are fire, but like the normal ones, they feel so bad that even a game like The Witcher 3 that came out in 2015 have better cutscenes when people talk. Like the movement, the lip sync, it's all perfect. I hate seeing Zhongli saying 3 words, like he moves his mouth 3 times quiet, and there's this whole monologue of words being said with him literally having his lips closed. That's not okay. I think Star Rail is doing that for every language. They have lip sync. It adapts to every language. That's amazing. It's like, where's that in Genshin though, right? Yeah. It makes the cutscenes really terrible. So like, if they can just change that, add in more to the story and kind of more condense it a little, it's better. They can do that.
Like,
the story's not that bad to expand.
You see, they really have to do that in Star Rail because Star Rail is a game that's the main appeal really is the story. So they gotta make that appealing.
Now the combat is good.
Gotta make it good.
No, the combat is good.
The combat is good, but the main focus is really just the story. Like, because of course it's not open world like Genshin where you can literally just say, nah, I ain't gonna do the main quest. I'm gonna do literally everything else, and then I'm gonna do the main quest. Like, no, like in Star Rail, it's like, dog, hey bro, main quest, do that right now. Okay, just do that, blah. You know, so like they.
I would disagree with that too. I would disagree with that too, because in Pokemon, I don't know I don't know if you guys played Pokemon, but like in future versions, the story was bad, but you'd still punch through the content because you do want to get to the higher levels of combat. I want to play against the Pokemon League. I want to see if I have what it takes to beat it. Sometimes I just skip through the stories, and a lot of people skip through the stories, but they play it for the sake of gameplay. And gameplay is more captivating, if anything, than the story. Story is good; it's good to have, but gameplay is very, very important.
If the gameplay for if the gameplay in HSR is for you, like if it really does appeal to you like that, then that's fine. You know, I mean, because at first I was like, I wouldn't really know if I like HSR, because I'm not really into turn-based games. I'm really not, because the thing about turn-based games is that not only do you have to be strategic, and I'm a pretty dumb person, not only do you have to be strategic, but there are just times where this enemy is just significantly stronger than your team, and you just can't beat it. So you gotta go back, level up your characters, do all this different stuff, and like, I mean, like, that's good, I guess. I mean, that presents a challenge, but sometimes it can be annoying. Like, right now in Starwell, I cannot finish these 2 quests because I cannot beat that red-haired dude, Argenti or something. Yeah, I can't beat him, and I can't finish Ruin Maze quest because I can't beat the big crab monster or whatever yet. So it's like it's really annoying me. But I'm gonna make it eventually, bro. Me and my Kafka is gonna make it. But on to what you wanted to say.
They got you. You're captivated. You have something to work towards. That's good. That's good for the game.
V, I'm gonna cut in at this point because I actually do agree with
go ahead.
Tao at this point, because you were saying the story doesn't have to be that much because of the gameplay, and I agree. Honkai Star has some really good gameplay. I'm really enjoying it. I started playing it recently, and I've gone insane. I started playing it while I was driving as well. Not a good idea. Don't do that. But basically,
arrest this man.
The issue is
not be a sequel to the podcast effect.
No, I kind of fell out of love with Honkai. I stopped playing it while driving. But the issue is the content is locked behind the story. And for example, Pentaconi just came out, and I kind of don't want to sit through the story right now, but I want to appreciate the new content, the new enemies, the new stuff, but I have to sit through the story. I don't want to do it. As opposed to, you know, in Genshin, if you want to run to the new land, you could just run and swim, go to the new place, fight the new enemies, do the new stuff, and then no issue.
Unless it's in Izuma.
Yeah, unless it's in Izuma, but we don't talk about that. But yeah, with Honkai, it's tied. It's tied to the main story. You have to sit through the main story. You can't just get to the new content. You have to go through the story, and that's a one-time event, unlike Genshin. It is tied so closely to the storyline.
Dude, no joke though, like that's literally what I'm doing in Genshin right now. My Chenyu Veil is almost at 100%.
Yeah.
But I still haven't done the main world quest for Chenyu Veil. I still haven't walked there. I can do whatever I want.
Yeah.
And I like that freedom.
Yeah, Genshin.
I want to touch on that. Though we were talking about the writing in Genshin being bad. I think my problem with the writing in Genshin is that the story quest writing is actually just better than the main quest writing.
Oh, yeah.
They're willing to take more risk with the story quest writing. They go places that they will never go in the main quest, and that's the most disappointing thing with the writing, is that they actually take risk with the story quest and they don't do it.
Do you understand who you're talking to right now? I am the man who made that story quest video. Do you know who you're talking to right now? Okay, do you know the statement that you make right now? So you're saying that the story quests are better than the main quest? That's what you're saying?
Yeah. I think a lot of times the story quest writing is better because they're willing to take more risk with it.
Explain though, go in depth. Explain.
Like, people actually die and bad things happen to people, and it's not all fun and games. There's consequences, there's stakes.
Well, you're talking about the ones in Genshin, right? People die in the story quests in Genshin?
Yes.
Tell me a story. Okay, wait, hold on.
I think it's like NPCs and stuff.
Yeah,
but that don't matter.
That's the big problem, is it's always NPCs.
Yeah, but that don't matter.
They never...
No one cares about an NPC, dude.
It's still interesting. I think that the topics that...
It's the only one that mattered because there was so much build-up.
Yeah, like, I remember in Nervalet story quest, I remember that Melusine named Count.
Yeah, that was dark.
In the past.
Yeah, that was dark.
Yeah, she died. Yeah, that was dark. Yeah, that was mad dark. Yeah, like, I can't remember them at the top of my head of characters who have died in story quests. But I am going to be working on a story quest video in the story quest tier list video in the future, so maybe I'll see how that happens.
Yeah, I'm specifically talking about the unvoiced story quest, and I feel like a lot of people just straight up miss the things that happen in those because they're not voiced and they just click through.
Yeah.
Like, probably a significant number of players think that Wander is the first person we saw get a vision. But no, that was Rana in a story quest in 3.0.
The girl with the Dendro vision? Yeah, everybody knows.
I think a lot of players don't even know that.
I didn't know it. I'm dumb.
See, that's the problem. Yeah, but see, that's the problem. When you have a story that sometimes doesn't have audio, that sometimes doesn't have engaging stuff, yeah, people will skip through it.
Yeah, that's about presentation.
It's fair. And that's fair, dude. If I'm playing The Witcher... No, but like The Witcher, every side quest I care. I can list you a lot of side quests because they have voice acting. They have so much going on. It's good.
Dude, that's like the thing about Rana too with her quest is that's the quest that everybody starting Subaru hated. That is a quest where it's like
too long.
Yeah, no, like you could literally be walking.
That's the Aranara, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the Aranara one. You could literally be walking along the main path and you're just like, oh, I see this girl fighting these mushrooms. I'm gonna help her. 3-day long quest you gotta do. Now you gotta find 76 Aranara to unlock this locked off area. It's like, why am I doing all of this? And it's not all voiced. Nothing is voiced. I do not care.
Yeah.
All of these Aranara, all these different Aranara are speaking. I do not care. Don't care. I mean, they're cute. I don't care though. Like, bruh, it's too long.
Now, I would argue that Aranaras themselves aren't that interesting. They were shrouded in mystery at first, but at one point there's like these plip-plop, plip-plop. That's all you hear. You know Yoimiya. Yeah. So it's like, okay, so you have these guys. All right, cool. They're mysterious. All right, cool. Now we're getting to know them. They're not mysterious anymore. All right. So Arnaras are there. You want to help them. You want to do all that. Genshin, in my opinion, what they're trying to do there. Okay, you're gonna keep playing this game. We all know you're gonna just keep playing this game. So after, say, you finish round 1 of the quest, they always have like sometimes they have like wait 2 days until you play. You get to the next part of the quest. But I feel like sometimes that's meant literally. It's like, okay, take a break. Go do something else. And don't forget, Genshin is a game made for China, and China they don't have time. They can't play as much as we do.
On a lot of quests that are tied to server reset. You cannot progress.
Exactly. So like it's very important to know that this game is made so that you have to play something throughout days. They don't even want you to just sit there and do it in one sitting. So that's why they have it. So it's like, okay, if I'm gonna have 10 minutes of gameplay to this story quest, like every time I do like a small chapter and I just walk away from it, you're gonna be playing the thing for months. You're gonna tell me in months you're not gonna finish that thing, right?
Especially with
that spread out sometimes. Like, my problem is like I want to do it when I just want to do it, and they tend to try to space them out in these bite-sized bits that are just not correctly bite-sized.
Especially with the events and stuff. Like literally, the events are just time gated. Like a lot of them are time gated. It's just like, oh yeah, man, you gotta do this part of the event on like the next day. So keep coming back next day. Blah blah blah. Do this here. Like I just want to do the whole thing, man. Like leave me alone, dude.
Yeah,
like,
it's super frustrating. That is.
Yeah.
Alright guys, I'm going to fast track this a tiny bit because clearly we can yap about Genshin issues all day long.